everyone. Welcome back to the Phoenix Rise podcast. I'm so happy to have you with us. So if I look a bit fidgety today, it's because I'm standing up. I don't know why. I've got lots of energy. I need to be moving. So if you're watching the video wondering why, that's why. Okay, so welcome. If you're new to the tribe, welcome. This is the place where we talk all things spirituality and success, mindset and business, 3D and 5D. You get to have the best of all worlds over here. Why? Because you're worthy of it all, babe. So today I've got a really amazing episode coming up for you. I've got my beautiful friend, fellow colleague in our mastermind, and fellow tribe sister from our speaking world in Ignite. So Maria, I would love for you to just introduce yourself to everyone before we dive in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maria. I'm a holistic wellness mindset and wellness and mindset coach. I'm a transformational speaker. I've been on this journey for a long time. Most people know me for being just so happy and successful, but they don't know all about my story and everything, which is what I'll be sharing with you today.
I love it. So in this episode, you know what I'm like, guys. So we are going to free flow. We've got a little bit of a kind of, we know what we want to talk about, but we're just going to let the messages channel through us. And I'm really excited for you listening to this, because Maria's story is nothing short of incredible. And this episode is going to be for you. If you are a visionary entrepreneur, right? You're ambitious. You know you've got big dreams. You're here to achieve big impact, big income, make a movement in the world, but you don't know how you're going to make it possible. This story is going to light you the fuck up, and you are going to leave feeling like I can take on the world. So Maria, I would love us to start with let's just give everyone a little bit of a background about kind of who you are, what your kind of journey is, and how you got to where you are now.
So as I mentioned, everybody knows me as, I'm the positive energy, the holistic wellness coach, all of that. But what most people don't know is that I actually spent most of my life battling debilitating depression, anxiety, and my body was filled with disease, autoimmune diseases. It was horrible. Every single day, it was just such a struggle to get up out of bed, like just to put that one foot down, took all the energy I had out of me. And I had nothing left in me to go about my day. Like so many of us did battle mental illnesses and depression, I turned to self-medication. Before I knew it, 9 years ago, I'm living in my mom's basement. I had lost everything. And I'm there wondering, how the hell did I get here? Like, seriously, I was just trying to numb the pain. I just wanted to quiet my mind. And I'm like, here I am. And in the middle of all that, one day I stood there and I had done all my drugs. It was an amount that should have literally killed me, but I wasn't even high. My mind wasn't even numb. The very purpose of why I was using it. I was just starting to pray, please, somebody save me, please. And at that very moment, I had heard a knock on my door, and my brother, like, Maria, we're having an intervention for you. And I was like, what? Like, because I didn't even realize that anybody knew my secret. And through that, let me tell you, I had to claw my way out of that darkness. They gave me a second chance at life with that intervention, but it was definitely not an overnight success. It was months, it was years of struggling, of getting myself up. And I'm so happy to say that out of all of that darkness, I found my light. I found my passion. I found my power, and I found my purpose in life to now help others free themselves of conventional remedies so they can live their life. To help free others of those fears that they have in them that's holding them back. We all have these fears. This is my journey to help others find theirs.
Oh my gosh. So beautiful. I had pictures of you on the stage there. I just love it. I love it. So for those of you listening, myself and Maria are part of a speaking community. So we're used to seeing each other kind of do our talks, but it's so beautiful to kind of have it in a real life context, right? So, okay, where do I want to start with this? Gosh, there's so much to really go into. So I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey of, okay, I'm thinking where I want to go. What's really coming up for me is you mentioned that you thought that no one else knew your secret. Yes. Now, I would love us to explore that just a little bit, because I think so many of us have such shame And it doesn't have to be around addiction. It doesn't have to be around, whatever you feel like your shame is around. Okay. So for me, I was in an abusive relationship. I didn't think anyone knew. That was my shame. Okay. That was the thing that I hid, and the thing that I would deny, to anyone and everyone, including myself. And so I would love you just to, and I don't want us to go too deep into this. We're not going to, I don't want to be triggering people out there, but I would love for you to just share a little bit more, Maria, about how that feels, knowing that other people actually do know, and kind of how it can help us then come out of it, right? How it can actually be what we need to admit it to ourselves.
So I'm glad you asked that, because like I said, I was ashamed. That's the initial shock of it. It all is like, oh my God, what are they going to think of me? But in reality, somebody knowing your secret can save you. Mm-hmm. And in my case, it saved me. In many of our cases, you talk about abusive relationships. If a friend, most people actually know our secrets when we don't even realize it. They know something. They may not know the depth of it. But for instance, when you're in an abusive relationship, people see from the outside something is off. They may not know exactly what that dark secret is, but they know that something is off. And with me, I thought I was alone. I thought not only did nobody know, but nobody else was struggling in life, that I was the only one going through such a hard time, that I needed to use drugs and I needed to do this and that just to get by. And the reality of it is, we're all struggling with something. Mm-hmm. We all have something that's going on, something in that we think is our deep, dark secret. So nobody's got it perfect, no matter how perfect it seems. Nobody does. We have our dark secrets bringing them into light is how we start to find our way out of that darkness, by bringing it into light.
100%. It just reminds me of I have a little mini course that I did about overcoming your fear, right? Turning your fear into your fuel. And it's the same kind of thing. It's that fear of change. It's that fear of, okay, well, I don't like where I am, but this is my comfort zone, right? This is what I know. This is my familiar. This is my life. Yeah. And even though we might not like it, our subconscious wants us to stay there. And that's why it's so hard. And for you guys listening, I want you to take this into whatever context it's coming up for you, whether that's fear of starting something new, fear of maybe creating a new product in your business, fear of maybe putting yourself out there so that more people can see you. Maybe it's talking on a stage, whatever it is, but it's that fear of, this is not what I know, right? This is hella uncomfortable for me. And it doesn't change overnight. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you want change, right? And Maria, I would love you to, so let's kind of go on from the journey. So tell us a little bit about that journey of your healing, and then how you came to now be where you are. How did you then go from that pit of despair to now? And we'll get into what Maria does now. It's absolutely epic. But being a market disruptor, right? Being someone who is absolutely creating waves in the industry that you're in. So how did that happen?
So it was a journey. I'm not going to pretend that it was an overnight success. It was most definitely not. I started with, I got myself clean. Now that I had that help, but my mental health was at its worst, because it's been so many years of relying on something else outside substance just to work. It did not know how to function on its own. I had to relearn everything. And it was so challenging. I literally was told by doctors that my depression was so severe that I had to go live in a mental health facility. I remember sitting in that parking lot with my mom. I had just taken a tour, and I'm looking at the paperwork like, what the heck? Like, why did my mind and my body fail me so much? That was my turning point. My mom was in the car with me, and she turned and she's like, Maria, you gave doctors so many years of your life trying different cocktails here and there. Please, can we just try natural remedies? And I sat there thinking like, well, it's either flax seeds, because she always talked about flax seeds, or this building. So I chose the natural remedies. Now, my goal when I chose those natural remedies was just to be a little bit better. I was just thinking, okay, maybe I'll get myself out of bed. the fact that I went from, I no longer, 5 years now, over 5 years, no more depression, no more anxiety. Every single disease in my body disappeared. Like I was going to be in a wheelchair. They told me in 3 months I'd be wheelchair bound. And now I go on hikes constantly. I hiked up an active volcano in June, so it's crazy. But that is where I hit such a point in my life where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Life has got to be better than this. I started learning and that's where all my 5,000 hours of just studying and research and I'm a sponge taking it all in. And now I'm showing other people the stuff. So the things that work for me, people say one size does not fit all, and that is true. But the package of it fits all. Just like we know if you eat whole foods with exercise, you're being healthier and you are going to be losing weight. Well, that's how these tools work, the tools that I share. It may not be the specific tool, but you got a whole toolkit that I share with you. Pick and choose what works for you. And that's how I get through this journey and helping other people to learn how they can do the same.
Wow. So you literally went from your mum introducing you to flax seeds to then being just really falling in love with that way of life, I guess, seeing what happened, what it did for you, and then just absorbing yourself in it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I started, my intention was to get out of bed. That was my only intention. I'm going to get out of bed. My mom started to notice like certain things, like for instance, every time I took an antibiotic, something else would break down in my body. And then I'd be on another disease and another thing. And I'm like, what is going on? But my mom picked up on that because she had studied integrative nutrition for like a while. And she picked up on these patterns. And when I started to notice like the diseases leaving my body one by one, like autoimmune diseases, fibromyalgia, it's not supposed to be gone, but it was. Ulcerative colitis was gone. So my body started to heal itself. Now, this is the thing. I was not expecting that part of it to happen. But when the body heals, most people, they try to heal the mind. They're so focused on, oh, my mind's not right, my mind's not right. It is the gut. Hippocrates, I always say that, I can stumble over his name. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, says 99% or all of our illnesses start with the gut, and that includes our mind. So while I was starting to heal my body, all of a sudden, my mind started to heal. I didn't think it was possible. So nobody was more surprised than me that I was like, okay, I'm okay. So it was quite the journey. And I do want to say I did not just go off my medicine right away. It was actually by stroke of luck, I'm going to say, that where I had moved the state, I couldn't get insurance. I couldn't get my doctor. And I was panicking because I'm like, what am I going to do without my pills? And as I started to run out of them, I ran to the herbal store. I was like, what do you got for depression? And I just stocked up on that. What do you got for anxiety? So my gut had already healed. And then I started to introduce the herbs as I was running out of the medication. And all I was trying to do was just get through the day. I didn't think it was possible. Just like the rest of you, I didn't think it was possible. And now I'm meeting more and more people that have done the same. It's pretty incredible.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm just like listening to you. My mind is just blown. So I know so many people that suffer from fibromyalgia, from other, autoimmune diseases. My dad is disabled. So I know so many people who get stuck in that system, right? In that system of, this is how we treat, disease. This is how we treat, the body not doing what it should do. So, wow, I'm just absolutely blown away. Maria, I would love you to share. So let's share what you're doing now, what you are doing in the world, because for everyone listening, this is so amazing. Like, Maria is literally creating waves. In what industry would you call it, Maria? Holistic health.
Holistic, I say, I call myself a holistic wellness and a mindset coach, because the two have to be combined. Because most people know, you got your body and your soul alignment, but if it doesn't align with your spirituality, that's where your whole is. So
I love it. So go on, tell everyone what you're doing now, because this is just so big.
I've got a lot going on, actually. One of the things, my most current thing that I'm doing, let's start with that, is next weekend I'm going to be having a webinar, and I am sharing, and because it's a beta launch, it's going to be really a low price, but just because it's a beta launch, I am sharing the very tools that I use, because especially this time of the year, we're so stressed out. We got to think, October's about the candy, November's about the pies, December's about the cookies, and you add all that stress on top of it, but then we're like, oh, it's flu season. No, we've crashed our body season, you know? So I have a webinar that I'm putting together, so this way I could teach you those very tools that, yeah, even though we're doing all this stuff to ourselves, you know, just giving you at least tools to help you so you don't fall into that really deep depression that often comes with this. So we don't burn out, you know, through all the stress and everything. So that's the one thing that I'm doing, is on December 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, because I'm in the US. I'll be having that. I've also just recently created Moss Gummies.
This is what I am so excited about, because this is literally, you guys listening, this is going to be huge. Like, I work very closely with Maria. She's part of my mastermind group, and this is going to be massive in the industry. So please, sorry, I interrupt because I'm so excited for you. But tell everyone.
Moss, the more they study this, the more they study algae, it is a miracle food. It's not a supplement. It is a miracle food. Why is it a miracle? Because your body needs 102 minerals a day to function. That's like 20 shopping carts. I'm just saying the number because I don't really know, so don't hold me to it. But that is like 20 shopping carts of vegetables to eat a day. We're not eating that because instead of our whole food diet that we should have been eating, well, we're eating the stuff that's off of the shelves and stuff like that. So now we're not getting those 102 minerals a day. I created Moss Gummies. Even though they have 92 out of 102, I added in the rest of them. So my Moss Gummies, 1 to 2 a day, get the 102 minerals in that your body needs. What does that mean for you? Well, when your body has all 102 minerals, now it knows how to function. No more inflammation, less stress on the body, heart it gets healthier, your immune system strengthens up. And what's different about my Moss Gummies? They are not only an entirely all natural product. I literally go outside and I pick the fruits myself. I do seasonal picking because I want you to have the best product. A lot of people, when they make Moss Gummies, they use a very little amount of sea moss in there, and you need something like 5 a day. Mine, you only need 1 to 2. There's no preservatives. It's vegan. It's gluten-free. No added sugar. They are an incredible product because I want people to start healing their gut. Again, you heal your gut, you heal your mind. Start healing that gut. And 1 to 2 of my gummies a day will start to heal your gut. So that's why I'm so excited about them.
Absolutely incredible. And I am just so excited to watch where this goes, because we've obviously been on this journey a little bit together, and it's just it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. And I would love us just to touch on kind of briefly, because obviously the people listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, are ambitious entrepreneurs, right? They want to create big things in the world. They want to do big things, create big impact, big income, be someone, right? Be something. Maria, I'd love you just to share your journey of how did you step into that? How did you start believing that that was something that was possible for you, especially given the struggles that you had previously in your life?
Well, what most of us, when we see those struggles, we think life is trying to break us. But when you see people that have already made it out of it, entrepreneurs and everything, what did we all say? I would not change a single one of those things. The worst of the worst, would not change a single one. Why? Because every single one of them shaped me. You learn something. People stay in victim mentality. Why me? They hurt me. They did this. We failed to take our ownership on the part that we did. We didn't set those boundaries. We didn't take care of our health. That's a lot of it has to do with us. So as I started to realize this, I had to really own it. I had to own it. The first thing that I had to do was get out of that victim mentality and take ownership for the parts that I played in it. Once I started to realize that, and I stopped thinking of it as the world doing things like breaking me and why me, I started seeing it as what it was. It's building me. It's making me who I am. And I just started to, little by little, between healing my gut, healing my mind, and making this like realization that these things are happening for me, not to me. You know, and it just started to burned this desire within me. And I couldn't even explain it. I didn't know where it was going. But here's the thing, we all have something in us that burns inside of us. Whatever it is, as a child, we talked about this the other day. A child, what did you love to do? What is it that you love to do? It could be makeup. It could be, maybe you have to, follow what makes you passionate, what lights you up inside. That is literally putting you towards your calling. And a lot of people say, well, I can't make a living off of makeup and I can't make a living off of that. You don't know what's right for you. The path, let me back up a little bit. The universe has been around a hell of a lot longer than us. It knows the best way to get you to where you want to be. And it uses our passions, what makes us happy, to take us on the path. It's kind of like breadcrumbs. It's like, we know you like this. Let's follow this. Let's follow this. And in following those breadcrumbs that the universe puts out, the things that make us happy, we find our path. My path, I followed it by just the things that I was passionate about. It was gardening, actually, out of all things. Gardening that took me here. Because I had a passion for gardening. I started to make my own herbs. I learned that this was healing. My passion for gardening during this whole thing with COVID is what brought me to here, helped me realize. And you wouldn't think one has to do with the other. But again, I followed things that I was passionate about, things that made me happy, and doors started opening up.
I love that. And I say that a lot, right? It's, you just need to focus on the why, focus on the what you want to do, what you want to create, and leave the how to the universe. That's not your job to work out the how. Like, I was talking to someone the other day and he was saying, so he got into like internet, kind of like YouTube and all this kind of stuff was part of his journey to creating a, multiple 7-figure business. And he was like, when I was a kid, that was not even in my mind because the internet didn't exist. How could it have been in his mind? How could that have been a possibility when it hadn't even yet been created? So
True.
You out there now, you might be thinking, well, I don't know how, how am I ever going to be there? Release the how. Just take awareness of the opportunities that take you closer. If it's in alignment with your why, if it's in alignment with the North Star, then it's a yes. And then one will lead to the other, doors will open, new tribes will enter your world. And before you know it, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, couldn't have made that up, couldn't have seen that path, couldn't have figured that out, because you can't join the dots going forward. You can only join them going back. And I love that saying by Steve Jobs, because it's true, right? You can't see what's in front of you. You just have to.
That path wasn't even carved out yet. So how can you see it? Like I like to go hiking. If you think about hiking, it's a path that was not even carved out yet. So how can you see it? You can't. But when you said about the why, when you make your why so damn big, the bigger that why is, you're not going to fail. You're not. My why is to create a movement so people know that they have options in this world to heal themselves. My why is huge. There is no failing in my path. The same like you. Your path is, your why is so huge that there is just simply no failing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And, this is just so powerful. So if you're listening, just remember that your past does not dictate your future, firstly. We all have struggles. We all go through seasons of thinking, how am I ever going to be anything but this? It's a season. And when we look back, we can see that. But when you're in it, it can feel overwhelming, right? It can feel like this is your life forever, but it's not. It's just a season. And it's because you need to learn something from that. You need to experience something within that. There's something that the universe needs you to figure out, to learn the lesson of, in order to become the person that you want to become. I talk about a lot recently, this year for me, I self-sabotaged one of my 6-figure businesses, burnt it to the ground because I couldn't hold the wealth container. I would not change that. I would not change that because I needed to learn that lesson so that now I can scale it even bigger. So that now I know, okay, that's my wealth cap. I cannot exceed at the moment 350K. That's my cap. I know I need to work on that. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have known that. And I just would have plateaued endlessly, right? Because I just wouldn't have known what I needed to change. So whatever your struggles, your hurdles, your mountains are, if you focus on your why, focus on the North Star, focus on the vision, what you're here to do in the world, that will be your pull, that will be your magnet, that can be your compass. But it has to be strong, right? It has to be so strong that the fear doesn't overtake it, that it's stronger than the fear.
Sorry. I want to touch on what you just said, because a lot of people see it as, oh, well, that didn't work out. The door closed. No. You you are being redirected. Pay attention. It's you hit that door and the universe realized, or whatever you want to call it, God, universe, whatever, realize that you weren't going to go further down this path. And now it's redirecting you. The door did not close. You did not fail. It's not that. It's just simply redirecting you to realign you to get you on your path. Stop taking these things as, that's it. I tried it. It didn't work out. That's not true. You know, and you know that you just said with the 6-figure business that you burned to the ground, it needed to redirect you so you can go even higher than before.
Exactly. And, you know, for every door that closes, it's because you weren't looking at the bigger one that was right beside you. You weren't looking at the one that was glaring with the sun, you know, trying to burst its way through it because you were over here bashing on this padlocked door that wasn't meant for you in the first place. Like, you just need to turn around, right? You just need to see what you're not seeing at the moment. But oh my gosh, I love this so much. I feel like we could talk forever. And you guys know, right? I have to share this. So Maria came on this podcast. What time was it for you, Maria, when we started?
Started at 5, but I had to get up at 4 a.m. for this.
I had to get up at 4 a.m.
It's dark behind me, as you can see.
I mean, I say she had to. Obviously, she wanted to. But this is when you are so passionate, right? When you are so passionate about what you're doing, you will do things that, you know, other people might be like, why would you do that? Because it's worth it. Because it's worth it. And I do not subscribe to the success equals sacrifice. And my point here is that when you are so passionate about what you do, there is no balance. Okay. There is no such thing as balance. If you are in your purpose, if you are in alignment, it is harmony. It's all one and the same. It's all part of just living your best life. And sometimes you might be like, okay, I'm going to work with my colleagues who are in the States like I do on a Wednesday night. And it's like, I don't get off the phone till 11. And then I'm up at 6 and I'm like really tired. But I'm so passionate about what we're creating in those moments and what we're delivering, that I'm just like, I'm all for this because this lights me up, right? Not because I'm like, oh, I've got to do this. I get to do this.
Exactly.
And I just want to, kudos to you, Maria, because a lot of people don't do that, right? And they will be like, oh, I can't get out of bed that early, or, whatever it is. But
I was gonna say, but here's the difference. Most people are like, they have a job they don't like, working for someone they're not crazy about, that doesn't respect them. They're doing these things because they're staying in that box of what they believe. They have to work really hard, do those 16 hours. I'm from New York. We work 16 hours a day. That is it. You don't have 8 hours a day. It's 16 hours a day or more, because whoever works the most, I don't know what, but you don't become a millionaire because you're still stuck in that box that they put you in. When you're in that box and you're not doing the things that you're passionate about and you're not following your own calling, you're just doing things to make somebody else rich. Well, then it feels like a sacrifice. But when it is your why, when it is your passion, when it burns inside of you that you want to do, follow that calling, it's no longer, it doesn't feel like you're sacrifices. It feels like, I get to do this. Like me waking up at 4 a.m., being here on this podcast, it's like, I get to do this, it's not a sacrifice in any way. And you know that mindset very much, Yeah,
100%. And I love this so much. And, I just really want to reiterate to you guys listening, if you are having to do things and you're like, I really don't want to do this, you're not in alignment. You are not on the right path. Something is not flowing right. So just reevaluate. your big why. Reevaluate what it is that you're here to create in the world, what it is that you want to bring to the world. Because when you get that right, when you get in that alignment, everything will flow. Honestly, I can't emphasize this enough, because I look at my life now and I'm just flabbergasted. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, like our mastermind. I talk about this so much recently because I manifested it. You know, I manifested this tribe of just incredible, high vibe, ambitious, empowered women who are creating huge things in the world. And I wanted that for so long, and I manifested it. And my life now is just, it's just everything that I used to want, right? And you can have that too, but you have to follow your path. You have to follow your purpose, and you have to heal your body with your mind. It's not one or the other, like Maria says, it's both, right? It's looking after every part of you in the most natural way that you can. So with that being said, Maria, where can people find you? Obviously, we'll put all the links and stuff in the show notes, guys, but where is the best place for people to reach out to you?
So I am Karma Free Living on all my social media platforms. I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, TikTok, and I'm finally uploading my stuff into YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel, so you can reach me on any of them. On each one of my social media platforms, the Karma Free Living, I always have links in my bios, and that's where you can sign up for me. That's where I have all of my things, my webinars, my one-on-one coaching, my Moss Gummies. They're called Karma Sea Living. I had to stick with the whole karma thing. So that's the easiest way to reach me.
Amazing. So we'll put all of those links in the show notes below, so don't panic. Maria, I have one question for you with the Moss Gummies. Is it just in the States or is it international?
I have to figure out shipping international. Right. I don't know what that part is yet. So right now I'm doing it in the States, but like I said, I'm just still at the very beginning launching stages of it, because you know, I just started it. I'm still pre-ordering, taking pre-orders. It officially comes out next week. So I'm going to try to find out a bit more about shipping it internationally, because I would love to be able to, you know, provide this. It's such a great product that I'd love to be able to provide it there too.
Yeah. So if you're not in the States, guys, maybe just reach out to Maria, but who knows when you're listening to this podcast. So just reach out, and I'm sure there will be options for you as well, because I am definitely going to be getting my hands on some for myself and my kids, because it's hard to find natural kind of supplements and stuff that you trust as well, right? So this has been such an amazing episode. Thank you so much for joining us, Maria. You are just a ray of light, and also a beacon of inspiration, right? Because it's very similar to my story. It doesn't matter what you've been through. If you want it enough, you can make it happen. But you have to own it, right? You have to own what you're here to do. You have to put your big girl pants on. You have to say, I'm going to buckle up, buttercup, and I'm going to make it happen.
So true.
So until next time, everyone, thank you for joining us. And Maria, I will see you this evening for our mastermind.
Bye.